And the talk is about how to get the LPI DevOps tools engineered certification. Welcome on stage.
Hello everyone and welcome to my talk. First I want to give an introduction about the currently available LPI certifications. The LPI certifications are grouped in 4 tracks. The first track is the beginner's track, then is followed by the admin track, followed by the engineer's track, and then comes the expert track and the specialist track. The first track, the beginner's track, consists of 4 independent certifications, and the second track, the admin track, consists of 2 exams. If you have got the 2 exams, you get the first certification, the LPI 1 exam. This is similar to the next track, to the engineer track. The engineer track provides the LPI 2 exam and or the LPI 2 certification. To get the certification, you need to take 2 exams, part 1 and part 2. The next track, the expert track, consists of 4 independent exams, and if you have taken one of these exams, you have got the certification. The last track provided by the LPI certifications is the specialist track, and this consists currently of 2 certifications, the DevOps certification and the BSD certification. I have to mention also the other certifications, the certifications of the admin track, the engineer track and expert track. They depend on each other. So if you want to take the LPI 2 certification, you have to provide first the LPI 1 certification. This is the same for the LPI 3 exam or certification. You have to provide a valid LPI 2 certification before. This is different for the topic from my talk today. For the DevOps certification, you don't have to provide any previous exams. There are not much people here now, but I have a question. Has anybody of you taken an LPI certification already? Nobody? Okay. Who wants to take a certification? Maybe. Okay, that's great. Let's start with the objectives of the DevOps certification. The objectives of the DevOps certification will change next year. There will be a new version number 2, available at the beginning of the next year, and I will cover the new objectives upcoming in the next year now. The objectives are grouped into 4 tracks. The first track is about software engineering, and to give some practical examples about software engineering objectives, you need to know some details about the Git version control system. You need to know some details about microservice architectures, about continuous delivery, and about free and open source software licenses. The next group of objectives is the application container group, and therefore you have to provide some knowledge about Docker containers as well as Podman containers. And the third group of objectives is about Kubernetes. For Kubernetes, you have to provide some basic knowledge about the Kubernetes architecture, as well as knowledge about some basic commands, for example, about the kubectl command and about the Helm command and Helm charts. The last group is about security and observability. Therefore, you need to provide some knowledge about Kubernetes and about some common security attack vectors, for example, about cross-site scripting attacks or brute force attacks. You see these, you see these objectives are accompanied by a weight. This weight sums up to a total of 60. What does this mean? For each objective, you have to expect a special number of questions in the exam, and inside the exam you have to answer 60 questions. And here you can see for the first group you have to answer around 20 questions, for the second group 13 questions, for the third group also 13 questions, and for the last group also there are provided 14 questions. So now for some details about the exam. The exam will take around 90 minutes. I just told it consists of 60 questions. Around 50 of these questions are multiple choice questions. You get 1 question and 5 or 4 possible answers. And besides these 50 multiple choice questions, you will be provided by 10 so-called fill-in-the-blank questions. The cost for the exam is approximately 200 euros. If you are a member of the LPI, you will get a reduction of 25%. And the exam languages are provided for Japanese speakers and English speakers. Where can you take the exam? You can the exam in 3 different locations. You can take them either online at your home or in your office, or at a Pearson VUE test center, or at some Linux events. Currently, I don't know whether this is possible during the next years here at SFSCon. I hope so. This is important because at Linux events, the exam is available for a reduced fee. The exam is valid for 5 years, and to get a passing score for the exam, you need 500 points out of 800. I have now provided some examples for exam questions. These questions are fictitious. This is an example for a so-called multiple choice question. And yes, guess what is wrong? What is the right answer? It should be easy. It's B, git push. And now an example of a so-called fill-in-the-blank question. This is about the Helm command, and you have to find the right answer and put it down in the blank, on the blank line, and I've provided the answer here. The command is Helm plugin list. Who did know the answer? You did know the answer? Nobody? Okay. If you are not prepared, it's difficult to answer these questions. Actually, I'm finished now, and I would be happy to get some questions. You find additional slides here if you want to take this, and I'm now open for questions, please.
Thank you, Werner, very much for your explanation. I have a question already. So you said that the certification, it's made by 2 exams and then other part of the exams. So we can say that a person can take up to maximum 5 years to get the whole certification doing the different exam, correct?
Yeah, I will go back to the slide where I have shown this. You mean this slide?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Actually, the exam I'm talking about is independent of the other exams. You don't need, if you want to take the DevOps exam, you don't need any of the other exams. If you want to take the LPIC 3 exam, you need to take LPIC 1 first and LPIC 2 then, and then you are able to take the third exam. And the first track is also independent of each other. Does it answer your question? I'm not that sure.
Yes, and how much time maximums can you use this? In what time maximum can you take all these parts?
Yes, the questions are valid 5 years. The first track, the beginner's track, these certifications are have a lifetime validation, and all the other certifications are valid 5 years, and you have to take the next step inside the 5 years. So if you have covered LPIC 1, you have 5 years time to do the next step. Otherwise, you have to take the exam again.
Okay, thank you very much. Are there questions from the people who were interested to take these exams? Are you convinced or yes? Do you want to make a comment on it?
I was wondering maybe what are the differences of this certificate in confront with what, for example, Red Hat offers or other vendors that are more specific maybe on the, let's say, on the product itself, but otherwise?
Actually, I didn't get your question. I don't have I need hearing aids, but my doctor didn't provide them yet. So please, can you repeat?
No, I was wondering on the what are the differences between this certification path and maybe something similar? What, for example, Red Hat offers now for Linux professionals.
Actually, I'm still not yet sure, but what I got is, are there other providers of certifications? Is that your question?
Yes, exactly. What are the differences between these?
There are many other providers. For example, the Linux Foundation provides exams too. And some certifications are also available, especially by SUSE or especially by Red Hat, or are provided by for special topics. For example, for Git or GitHub, you can get special certifications. But I have chosen the LPI certifications because LPI was one of the first who has offered certifications internationally. And also the LPI certifications are independent of the Linux system you are using. So if you take a Red Hat exam, you are bound to Red Hat. If you take the LPI exam, you are not bound to any distribution. I hope I have answered it.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.